New footage has emerged today of the moment that the earthquake struck. It was filmed in an orphanage by an aid worker, and it shows the power of the tremors and the terror that they caused. International attention is now turning to the plight of Haiti's orphans, as Orla Guerin reports.
Children at play in the Hope orphanage in Haiti. Happy moments filmed by a visiting aid worker. And then this. The children here all escaped with their lives, but like their nation, they may be deeply scarred. And the earthquake has produced a new generation of orphans. No one knows her name or how she survived all alone, but doctors are calling her Lena. She's being tended by Tercel. Her son, Valentin, lies in the next bed, one of many new amputees in Haiti. Tercel says she knows Lena is suffering. She's trying to be a mother to her, but there's not much she can do except hold her. For now, we can't tell if Lena has a single surviving relative. There's just no way to know. And there are many children here in the same situation. The big concern for local people and for the international medical teams is what will happen next to children like her. When they're well enough to be discharged, where will they go? Doctors say there should be no rush to adopt them abroad if homes can be found here.
We should try to keep most of the people exactly in their own culture, because that's where they were born, that's where their families are. We also are hopeful that some of these orphans won't be orphans later. Maybe we'll find at least uncles or aunts and so forth.
No noise at all. Stand where you're at. The quieter we are, the better chance we have of listening for anything that might be in there, okay?
The search for survivors is continuing, even now, 7 days on. So they appeal for a few minutes of quiet. And then they wait.
In the United States, we always talk about the golden hour. We always say that we want to get to the injured within an hour. And yeah, and I can't tell you, if we can find any survivors now, it'll be a miracle.
And today, there was one, a truly miraculous recovery. This woman pulled out of the rubble, weak, emaciated, but alive. But officials say time is running out, and the rescue effort here will soon become a search for bodies. Orla Guerin, BBC News, Port-au-Prince.
Well, as Orla suggested there, it's impossible to know just how many orphans there are in Haiti tonight. Even before the earthquake struck, the country had nearly 400,000. With concern mounting for their welfare, countries around the world are stepping in. Here in the States, orphans are being allowed into the country for care, even in the absence of any adoption process. At the same time, more than 100,000 Haitians living illegally in America have been granted an amnesty, the right to stay here for the next 18 months. Laura Trevelyan reports on these extraordinary measures in extraordinary times.
From the horrors they've witnessed in Haiti to a new home. More than 50 orphans landed in Pennsylvania today, where they'll be adopted and begin American lives. The US government is speeding up the process for Haitian children being adopted by US citizens. Lisa and Duke Scopper were in the process of adopting 4-month-old Thurleen and 4-year-old Erickson from Haiti when the earthquake struck. Their children survived, and the Scoppers will become parents more quickly than they ever dreamed.
This morning we were elated and very jazzed and excited because we thought we were going Thursday morning to Fort Lauderdale to pick up the children. And then we found out maybe, maybe not, it could be a few days and who knows exactly.
We're hanging in there, we're managing, and we're doing the best that we can.
The US government is also helping the Haitian community in America by saying those here illegally at the time of the earthquake can stay on temporarily, as it's not safe to return home. There are an estimated 100,000 Haitians living in America without legal documentation. By enabling those people to live and work here legally for the next 18 months, the US government is hoping they'll send money back to help rebuild Haiti. At a Haitian community centre in Queens, New York, Immigration advisor Pudens Desvario tells me there's been a lot of interest in this scheme.
It is something that we needed. We were looking for an open door for those victims, those people that are here that were desperate, you know, and they were looking for help.
Natasha Neon came here from Haiti 9 years ago on a student visa which expired. She's hoping that now, finally, she'll be allowed to work legally and realise the dreams she has for baby Anaya and herself.
When I came here, I decided to stay and I'll see if I can have a better life and help my family.
Immigration watchdog groups say the Haitians allowed to stay temporarily will never leave. Yet for those who've lived here on the fringes, the earthquake has provided an opportunity to help themselves and those back home. Laura Trevelyan, BBC News, New York.
Well, as you just heard, more than 50 Haitian children landed in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania this morning to get the care and the shelter they need. On board the flight was the state's governor, Ed Rendell, and late today I spoke to him about that journey. Governor Rendell, at what point did you decide, as you heard this story and heard the preparations, that you simply had to be on that airplane going down to Haiti?
Well, interestingly, really our first break was when we saw the Haitian ambassador, Ambassador Raymond Joseph, on one of the interview shows on Saturday. I called the station, asked them to put me in touch with the ambassador. He was the first one who started the ball rolling. And I was content to let the UPMC people, that's the University of Pittsburgh Medical School people, go down on this mission. They had gotten the plane donated by someone. But the ambassador, Ambassador Joseph, said, Governor, you have to go because there's going to come a time either in the air or in the ground when only you will be able to make things happen. And to an extent, Ambassador Joseph was right. And yesterday was a state holiday anyway, Caddy. I wasn't going to work, so I figured this was a good use of my time. But no, seriously, the ambassador convinced me that I had to be on that plane. And there were one or two times during this scenario that played out that I think only the governor, not me as an individual, but only the governor could have moved the process. And it was an incredible story.
Governor, I love the smile on your face, and I imagine as that plane took off from Port-au-Prince on its way back to the United States, you were smiling just as broadly.
Well, Caddy, it was an amazing sight because our plane, the chartered plane that we came down on, the military pushed that plane away before we had the kids from the embassy because we've got to create tarmac space. There's so many planes coming into the Port-au-Prince airport. So we didn't have a plane to get back, and I found this young major, Major Miller, in the Army, and I said, Major, how are we going to get these kids back? He said, oh, Governor, don't worry. See that plane over there? And he pointed to a C-17, which is big enough to put 5 tanks in it. And 53 Haitian kids from 6 months to 10 years, 25 medical personnel from UPMC, and a couple of us, we flew back on this huge plane, and the Air Force crew said they've never seen cargo like that in their lives. And these kids who had never flown, the rattle and the noise that a C-17 makes as you take off, not one kid got upset. They were all happy and cheerful. They're absolutely great kids, and it was a terrific victory.
Well, Governor Rendell joining us from Pennsylvania, thank you so much. Great story. Thanks for sharing it with us.
Thanks, Caddy.
And we'll have much more from Haiti later in BBC World News America, including a report from on board an American aircraft carrier where some quake victims with the greatest medical needs are being cared for. During the last week, we've heard a lot about the devastation in Port-au-Prince, but Haiti is a country of over 10,000 square miles, and almost no assistance has reached those affected in rural areas. One television crew who travelled out into the countryside came across many of the countless people still needing help. Humphrey Hawksley has one young girl's story.
From the suburbs of Port-au-Prince, an unforgiving journey where the quake ripped roads apart and threw down boulders from hillsides. This is rural Haiti. No aid or rescue has yet reached here. A small community. 50 people died here. 13-year-old Lordy is among the injured. Her leg is broken. It's swelling up. She's badly in need of a doctor, but none is here. It's only 40 miles from the capital. They've rescued those who were trapped, buried their dead, and made new homes from clothes and plastic sheets. but there's no help, it seems, for Lordy. Yet the French television crew who filmed this found a British rescue team nearby and told them of Lordy's plight. Even then it wasn't simple.
We're not a medical team, and it's very important. There's a difference. We're a rescue team, and we have got some medics with us, but they're already dealing with 5 people here.
They brought Lordy to the team. Rough splints were made. They could tell her condition was worsening.
There's nothing we can do. We don't have anything. We need a hospital. We're not a hospital.
Then, when they were about to give up, the sound of an American helicopter. Lordy will now be treated in Port-au-Prince. The quake has millions of victims. This is one small story of rescue. Humphrey Hawksley, BBC News.
11,000 American soldiers are now playing an active role in the relief effort in Haiti, according to the White House. It represents a huge and swift build-up of forces for a nation that's already fighting 2 wars. Central to the American operations is the aircraft carrier USS Carl-Vincent off the coast of Haiti. From there, our correspondent Steve Kingston has sent this report.
Incoming wounded on the USS Carl-Vincent. One of the largest warships in the world, it was from this deck that America launched the first airstrikes after 9/11. Now, the battle is a humanitarian one. Already badly injured in the earthquake, this man has suffered a seizure. He's hurried away to the ship's hospital. Since Friday, the Vincent's pilots have flown well over 600 missions, getting the seriously injured out of Haiti and taking food, water and medicines in. But it hasn't been easy.
At first, we struggled with getting a lot of quantity of food and water in, and then we also struggled with getting clear landing zones. And it was a lot of people coming right to the helicopters. By this point, we've got more security forces just to keep people back for their own safety and to make it easier for us to land in those zones.
Below deck, the man we saw earlier receives urgent medical attention. This woman is one of 2 amputees. The American doctors couldn't save her badly crushed foot. Nearby, a young Haitian mother cradles the son born on a warship 3 days after his country lost everything.
With this massive build-up of hardware and troops, Haiti increasingly feels like a third front for the US military, a world away from Iraq and Afghanistan, but with new and formidable challenges.
By their own admission, the Americans have not got everything right in Haiti, but they are here, in their thousands. Steve Kingston, BBC News, on board the USS Carl-Vincent.
As we've been reporting for nearly a week, the international community has struggled to get much-needed aid to desperate Haitians right across the quake-ravaged country. But whilst the distribution of help remains a challenge, the collection of private philanthropy has been remarkably efficient. And it's giving by text message which is the engine of that success. Jane O'Brien has the details.
Food, clothes and medical supplies arriving at Haiti's airport, part of the record-breaking international response to the cry for help. But it's money that's needed most. This sign outside the Haitian embassy in Washington begs people not to drop off goods, just cash. And around the world, technology has enabled people to do just that, raising funds at a level never before seen. In 2004, text messages raised $250,000 for the Asian tsunami. The following year, that total was nearly doubled for victims of Hurricane Katrina. But in under a week, text messages alone have netted more than $22 million for Haiti.